John Robert Lewis was born on February 21st, 1940, near Troy, Alabama. The son of sharecroppers, Representative Lewis grew up attending segregated public schools in Pike County, Alabama. As a young child, Mr. Lewis dreamed of becoming a preacher, and it's a family story that at the age of 5 he would be caught preaching to the family's chickens. John Robert Lewis was raised almost entirely around other blacks. He had not seen more than 2 white people by the age of 6 years old. When Representative Lewis was 11 years old, his uncle took him to Buffalo, New York, where he became more aware of the acute segregation that he was living in. Mr. Lewis said that he was inspired to join the civil rights movement after hearing Reverend Martin Luther King through the radio. It is very clear that Mr. Lewis was on the right side of history. He co-founded the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee that sought to give young blacks a voice in peaceful demonstrations for equal opportunity and jobs in America. In 1961, Representative Lewis became one of only 13 of the original Freedom Riders. It was a group of 7 whites and 6 blacks who rode from D.C. to New Orleans to protest the laws that prohibited blacks and whites from riding together and sitting next to each other on public transportation. In Birmingham, they were beaten severely with chains, bats, and stones. This was not an isolated incident for Mr. Lewis. In 1963, John Lewis was named one of the big 6 leaders in the March on Washington. He marched for jobs and freedoms for blacks in America, and at the age of only 23, John Lewis gave one of the most powerful speeches in American history. Even in his young age, he understood that the original ideals of America were that all men should be counted as created equally. His wisdom and strength at this age is second to none in history, and his idea that he shared with those that were marching on Washington was that he must get in the revolution and complete the revolution of 1776 and take advantage of the rights that were sworn to him by the Founding Fathers. It is clear now, looking back on history, that John Lewis knew that America could grow, that America would grow, and that John Lewis was capable of helping America grow. In 1965, the already distinguished John Lewis led over 600 peaceful and organized men and women over the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. State troopers attacked Lewis and attacked his peaceful protest in an atrocity that is now known as Bloody Sunday. It is argued that Lewis's march helped to rapidly speed up the passing of the Voting Rights Bill of 1965. Even with John Lewis's serious injuries, dozens of arrests, countless beatings, and multiple hospitalizations, Mr. Lewis was still a strong advocate of the nonviolence philosophy. The distinguished John Lewis passed away on July 17th of 2020. He leaves behind a legacy of strength, wisdom, and courage. And it is clear today that John Lewis was the man that every American should strive to be.